Let me just share with you a couple of things, a couple of thoughts, generally about the topic. How to improve education. I think there are a number of things that technology can help. There's obviously quality, and quality goes along with having the right content. We've seen countries that have invested massively in technology across all schools, all students, like Portugal, Argentina, or Venezuela, having significant improvements in test scores. I'm talking about 10, 20 points improvement. Locally here in Mombasa and Garissa, we actually have a USAID funded project that we participated in. There are laptops in primary schools. A recent independent evaluation showed improvements in math and science. So I think on the quality end, there is increasingly more and more proof points. I think specifically for this country, there is something that we also miss. I don't know if many of you know that less than 10% of 18 to 25-year-olds are actually in any sort of higher education institution. 10%, less than 10%. There's someone here from Catholic University. I think the figure is actually like 6% gross enrollment ratio. But all these kids want education, right? So what can we do to use technology, to use mobile phones to increase access to education? Only about 40% of the kids actually sit for KCSE. The rest, 60%, don't. But at some point in life, they probably need to get that certificate so that they can go into some sort of higher education studies. How can we use technology to make this, to provide this sort of education? Countries like Namibia and Botswana are doing what they call open schools, so that kids who missed out secondary school or even primary school can go back down the road and get that certificate. And lastly, I'll end with, there's a lot of talk about the big government laptop project, and I think sometimes people don't talk about the impacts these sort of projects can have, these large-scale projects. We've been involved in several countries that have done really large-scale projects like the government wants to do here. One immediate impact is that every village will have power in the next year or two. Already the ministry says over 10,000 schools are connected to the grid. So we will see that impact. And we will also see an impact on the local ecosystem, and here specifically for developers, right? Developers will develop applications if there is an install base. If there's no install base, it doesn't make sense. So if all the schools have laptops or some sort of computing device, 1 million plus, then it makes sense for developers to start developing applications for education. It makes sense for publishers to invest in creating interactive content. It makes sense for telcos to extend their connectivity to every corner of this country, because there is someone that can use it. So I think, I certainly believe that there's going to be a significant transformation of, the EdTech system, literally the entire ICT system in a couple of years when the government project takes off. And I think the conversation we'll have then will be completely different from what we're having today. Thank you.